from Montana's news leader.
Good morning to you. Happy Friday. Made it to almost the weekend.
I know. So close. So close. We're almost there. Unfortunately, this weekend's not looking to be overly nice.
Okay.
I hate to burst the bubble right out of the get-go here.
Maybe it's a good weekend, though. Just relax at home, inside, maybe. That sounds wonderful. Maybe, get a few things done inside.
Sure.
See? Trying to put the positive spin on it. Yeah.
I don't know.
You can relax
First thing that came to my
inside.
mind is like, so you're saying I have to vacuum?
No.
Really?
I'm saying you should relax, man.
Oh, I guess. Yeah. U.S. Bank ICAM 47 degrees right now. A little bit of a cloudy start to the day. Humidity a little bit higher at 66% right now. Sneak peek into your weekend. 76 on Saturday, 65 on Sunday. As you know, it's pretty widespread showers and thunderstorms are expected. Opportunity Bank ICAM 50 degrees right now. Some wind out of the west at 6 miles per hour. And this weekend not looking as good either for the capital. Pretty widespread showers and thunderstorms moving in on, well, tonight actually, and we'll see them pretty much all day there Saturday into Sunday. 41 right now in Lewistown. Some wind out of the south at 5 miles per hour. And Lewistown's weekend forecast looking at a few showers and thunderstorms. A little bit of sun, though, trying to return on Sunday. However, it's going to be a chilly couple of days following this system. Take a look at that extended forecast very shortly. Shannon.
All right, Jason, thanks. Montana will be expanding COVID-19 grant opportunities to help small businesses, local governments, and help get more Montana meat to people's tables. Governor Bullock announced on Thursday an additional $25 million to the Small Business Stabilization Program. The program had already sent out more than $10 million to Montana businesses. Additional funding will go to local governments to cover COVID-related expenses, and the governor introduced the Montana Meat Processing Infrastructure Grant. That grant is aimed at helping small and medium-sized meat processors adapt to meet supply and demands for their community. The governor also announced increased testing across the state, including asymptomatic testing and more testing in tourism communities. The testing is completely free to people and paid for by the state of Montana. In Helena, drive-through testing will be conducted at Pureview Health Center for the next 2 Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon. The hope is that this screening will give public health a better idea of the prevalence of COVID-19 in local communities and the state.
Point is to really see if there is a lot of COVID in the community among asymptomatic people. So this kind of screening test is for people who do not have symptoms and do not have any known exposure to COVID.
Seeley says it will probably be around a 5-day turnaround for results, and everyone tested will be informed about what the results are. Health experts are also reminding people to continue good hygiene, stay home when sick, and wear a mask when distancing isn't possible. There are 2 new cases of coronavirus in Lewis and Clark County, the county's first new case in 8 weeks. That pushes the county total to 18. The new cases are a 50-year-old man and a 54-year-old man who is a contact to a known case from Idaho. The Lewis and Clark cases are in addition to 14 new cases added in the state. There is just 1 current hospitalization reported. 467 people have recovered so far. While restaurants and bars could reopen weeks ago due to adequate space for social distancing, the intimate nature of places of worship kept many church doors closed. Now that phase 2 is underway, so have some church services. Victory Church resumed their in-person services last Sunday with the addition of some sanitation and social distancing measures. Now, when churchgoers come on Sunday, they will have to sanitize, sit 6 feet apart from other families or groups, and take their children with them into the adult service, as children's ministries are currently on hold. Church leadership will also have some safer alternatives for traditional communion and tithing practices, like individual portions, online offering, and individual envelopes for tithes. Pastor Hart shared why Victory Church chose to resume their in-person services.
Recently, when Governor Bullock began to move us towards phase 2, we realized that we could probably go ahead and step into in-person services as long as we were doing some level of social distancing, disinfecting protocols.
And those protocols will remain in place this Sunday should anyone choose to attend Victory Church's services at 9 and 11 a.m. The Salvation Army of Great Falls was selected to distribute free boxes of produce as part of Congress's recently passed Coronavirus Farm Assistance Program. Thursday was the second week for the giveaway with some revisions. MTN's Keely Van Mittendorp caught up with organizers as they gave out more boxes.
Salvation Army of Great Falls leaders and volunteers gathered to pass out the second round of USDA food boxes Thursday.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being patient.
After driver lines led to traffic jams last week, leaders changed up the location and decreased the number of boxes given away from 1,500 to roughly 100.
And I know that folks are going to be disappointed. We can't help everybody as much as we wish we could.
Cars lined up for blocks Thursday to get 2 free boxes of produce, meat, and cheeses.
We're all done. They're gone. Thank you very much. We're sorry.
While there was no guarantee everyone would drive away with fresh produce, many were just thankful for the opportunity.
Are you worried about getting a box this week?
I'd like to have one, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world.
We just ran out of boxes. Yeah, sorry about that.
Leaders say they're looking at other venues for another mass distribution like Montana Expo Park, but this week's giveaway came too quickly to get plans solidified with county officials.
It's easy to say we should be here, we should be there, but unless those properties are made available to us and can handle the traffic flow, this is the best alternative.
What it basically has to do with is deferred maintenance at the park and prior commitments for the park's use.
City officials are also stepping in to help. Mayor Bob Kelly says he's helping the Salvation Army facilitate a plan for the weekly distribution so the Salvation Army can continue their mission of doing the most good.
Visit both county facilities to make sure that we could do it right if we can do it there, and also private and public facilities to see if they'd be willing to give us the space to get these food boxes out to the folks who need them.
We really are just doing the best we can.
The Salvation Army has partnered with a number of agencies to distribute the remaining boxes. We have all that information on our websites. Reporting in Great Falls, Keely Van Mittendorp, MTN News.
And Mark King says they were able to provide enough food boxes for over 178 households and 588 people. Again, we have a list of organizations who are receiving boxes from the Salvation Army on our website. Well, it is Friday. Time now is 5:07. Coming up on Montana this morning, Lewis and Clark County is looking into a needle exchange program. We'll explain what that means next.
And later in your weather forecast, we've been talking about it all week. Some pretty major changes as we head toward the weekend. So your gardening forecast, outdoor conditions take a turn for the worse today and stick with us pretty much through Monday. So shouldn't have to fire up the hose or the sprinklers over the next few days. Take a closer look at your weekend weather maker very shortly.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Good morning. It's 5:10 on this Friday. Happy Friday to you. You're looking live over the capital city this morning where we're sitting at 50 degrees right now. Lewis and Clark County will start discussions later this year on the possibility of creating a needle exchange program. But as MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports, many say they still have strong reservations about this idea.
Public health leaders say they're concerned the use of injected drugs may lead to the spread of infections like HIV and hepatitis C.
Something happens like an outbreak associated with intravenous drug use, and you go from a very low incidence to all of a sudden a very high incidence pretty quickly.
They say one possible way of addressing that risk could be setting up an integrated syringe services program. That would allow drug users to turn in used needles in exchange for clean ones, reducing the chance of contamination. In addition, the program would try to direct users to services like mental health or addiction support.
You're providing something that those individuals that are addicted to drugs want, that is clean materials to do drugs. When they are accessing those resources, they then have access to other resources.
On Thursday morning, the County Commission voted to accept a $5,000 grant to set up a community-wide evaluation of a possible syringe services program.
What we want to do is we're going to conduct a collective impact project with local stakeholders and decision makers to evaluate the program, whether or not it makes sense in our community, to look at the facts, to look at the data.
Needle exchange programs have become controversial around the U.S., with opponents saying they are enabling drug use and the negative effects that go along with it. Helena Police Chief Steve Hagan and Lewis and Clark County Sheriff Leo Dutton both said they have serious concerns about the idea, but that they're willing to be part of the discussion.
I am going into it with a bias that I've seen the criminality from drug use, and providing needles for the furtherance of that is not something that I'm in support of. But again, I'll keep an open mind, I'll listen to what they say, and then make a decision after that.
Several county commissioners also expressed reluctance about moving forward, but they said they want to see the data and hear from the community.
I look forward to participating in these conversations. Know that I am a skeptic going in.
We've got to study ways to try and make a difference, and so if it is something we can benefit from, then great. If not, then we move on.
In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Public health leaders say they are already using needle exchange programs in places like Missoula and Flathead County. COVID-19 can be transmitted from person to person, usually after close contact with an infected individual. According to the CDC, it's unknown if mothers with COVID can transmit via breast milk. However, they do say continued breastfeeding should be determined by the mother in coordination with her healthcare provider. We did talk to one county health officer about what options there are for moms who might be uncomfortable with it due to COVID fears.
If she really doesn't feel comfortable breastfeeding her baby during that time, an option would be to have her express that or pump her milk and have somebody that's healthy feed that baby that breast milk.
Cascade County also has lactation consultants who can help.
Well, next in your weather forecast, some nasty stuff headed our way as we head toward the weekend. But looking back yesterday, 72 was the daytime high, just 2 degrees above average in Great Falls. Sunrise this morning looking at right on track with 5:30. That puts us at about 15 hours, 48 minutes of daylight. Yesterday in the capital, a little bit warmer, 76 degrees compared to the average of 72. And your details today, starting to see some building clouds. Sunrise at 5:36 a.m. We'll take a detailed look at your forecast after the break.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with Jason Laird.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Finally looking at the weekend. All right, we're looking about halfway up the atmosphere at water vapor. This is our next weather maker, and it's really going to mess things up here for us this weekend. We're already seeing some atmospheric moisture start to move in across the state. That's going to cause increasing clouds as the day plays out. Currently sitting at 47 in Great Falls, 50 degrees in the capital, and the 40s right now in northeastern Montana. Today's high temperatures a little bit warmer compared to where we were yesterday, but don't let that excite you because things are going to take a bit of a change as we head into Saturday and Sunday here. 78 degrees for your daytime high in Great Falls, 82 in the capital, looking at the high 70s in northeastern Montana. Well, the National Weather Service has bumped out the severe weather outlook for today. And although it's not overly high, we are still looking at the possibility of some stronger isolated cells as the day plays out. And believe it or not, a lot of the forecast models not really picking up on this. So I did find one here this morning that is going to show us a little bit better of what we're dealing with this afternoon. So with that said, looking at some cloudy conditions into northwestern Montana. And then once the day plays out here this afternoon and evening, some stronger cells are expected to kick up in southwestern Montana. Those are going to continue to travel into central Montana. You notice a few of those isolated cells. I don't think we're going to see widespread severe thunderstorms, but there is going to be a couple of cells that will likely become severe as the afternoon and evening plays out. Overnight lows cooling off again to the mid-50s in most locations, 58 degrees in the capital, still lingering 60s in northeastern Montana. High temperatures tomorrow starting to back things off a little bit as that next weather maker starts to move in. Mid-70s for central Montana, cooler near Cut Bank at 69. Still pretty mild though throughout the eastern plains. The reason behind that, the high pressure that tried to build today, or is going to try to build today, is going to shift a little bit further east tomorrow. That's why this area is going to stay warmer for us, and that's also going to ramp up the possibility of more severe weather. You notice it's getting bumped up a little bit here as you head off into the northeastern corner of the state and the Dakotas. Here's how Saturday is going to play out. That big weather maker is going to move in. Huge area of low pressure is going to wrap that moisture across the state. So we'll start off maybe a couple of sprinkles early in the day, but really in the afternoon is when things are going to start to get rather active for us. Strong storms expected, much like today. to kick off in southwestern Montana and then pretty much take over central Montana and are going to camp out and stick with us pretty much all day Saturday afternoon into the evening as well. Now, precipitation totals we're looking at here are just through Saturday. Not out of the question that we could see right around a ½ inch, maybe even up to 3/4 of an inch. Places like Helena a little bit more, and there will likely be some heavier pockets of rain as this system moves through. Much cooler temperatures on Sunday following the inset of this system. 65 in Great Falls, same story for the capital. Some lingering high 70s throughout the eastern plains. As we head up to Sunday again, the main core of that system, or I should say the little area of low pressure that's going to be bringing the rain on Saturday, is going to start to move out, but the driving force behind that system is going to allow for colder air to settle in as Monday and Tuesday rolls around. We will start to see some high pressure build, though, as Tuesday, Wednesday rolls around. So over the next 7 days, here's how it all plays out for us. 78 degrees today. Widespread showers and thunderstorms expected through the weekend. In the capital, again, a couple showers later this afternoon and evening, but much better chance here this weekend with a lot better coverage as well. As for Fort Benton, we're looking at 81 degrees today. We're going to stay pretty warm up through Saturday, then temperatures kind of fall off the charts as we head into the first part of this next week. And Cut Bank looking at 72 degrees with much chillier air setting in by Monday. Shannon.
Jason, thanks. Time now is 5:21. Still to come, the community is coming together to make sure families stay fed. Coming up next, I'll take you to Whittier Elementary for a look at how they're helping.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Good morning. Thanks for spending your Friday with us. Time now is 5:23, and in the last 2 months, the Great Falls Community Food Bank has nearly doubled the amount of food that they've given out to the roughly 70 agencies that they serve.
The food pantries at Great Falls Public Schools, including Whittier Elementary, are stocked in large part thanks to the food bank.
Today's the day.
Whittier Elementary is getting a special delivery.
It's a big bag of potato chips.
Food for the school's pantry.
Doritos.
Oh, families love those.
Since schools were closed due to coronavirus, Whittier's seen an increase of families needing food.
Snacks for the kids.
We have parents that have woken up and they're out of a job, and all of a sudden. And so the need is greater.
And then we normally fill this up entirely with pantry food.
Right now, they need more space, so the gym is serving as the pantry and food box assembly station.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Normally, Whittier gives out around 1,000 pounds of food per month from the food bank.
Now we're pushing out about 1,800 pounds a week, up to 81 boxes.
It's a well-oiled machine of teamwork to get the food organized and boxed up for students and families in the Whittier community.
Oh, and we got a big bag of chips right here.
Our families are so grateful. If they don't need it, they don't take it. And sometimes some of our families, if there's things that they have purchased and their kiddos won't eat, they'll bring it in and donate it, and maybe another family will take it.
And here at MTN, we want to help make sure the community is fed in the wake of coronavirus and support efforts of those who are working to do just that. That's why our parent company, Scripps, is donating $12,000 to the food bank, and we're challenging you, the community, to match that donation.
Yeah, and get this, so far, $3,300 has been donated. If you would like to help, give the food bank a call.
Yeah, so they're just keeping track of donations in this few-week time period, and this is just an effort to really help boost our community, support our community. The food bank, like we said, serves roughly 70 different organizations. The food pantries at the schools are mostly stocked from the food bank, and they've been doing deliveries now instead of having staff go and get the food. They've been delivering. It was really neat to be there and witness. I was just trying to be a fly on the wall with the camera to get that, but they just go. Those volunteers have it down. They're excited. They get excited when they see what type of food is being brought. They even have meat I didn't get a chance to show you in fridges that are stocked, so they're doing an awesome job there.
Yeah, it looks like a finely tuned machine.
It really is. Yeah, they get in, they do it right away. They're done with those 80 plus boxes relatively quickly, getting them stocked. So
that's outstanding. Well, on the weather scene here as we head toward the weekend, unfortunately, we're going to be tracking some rain. The day's going to start out kind of cloudy here or there, maybe a little bit of sun. late this morning, and then building clouds this afternoon. 47 in Great Falls right now, 50 in the capital, looking at the high 40s in northeastern Montana. So the big story is that high pressure ridge that's kind of camped out over the past couple of days is going to shift east, and a big area of low pressure is going to drop in. That's going to drag moisture our way and also allow for colder air to move in. Right now, a high pressure ridge is going to rebuild next week, and it looks to kind of hold that next area of low pressure off a little bit. We'll keep a very close eye on that and keep you posted. But check out the temperature, 78 today. And once Sunday rolls around, 65, and believe this Monday is going to be even colder. 82 in the capital today with cooling temperatures through Sunday.
At least we're at the time when 65 sounds cooler.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of gives you a little break from the heat. Yeah.
All right. Well, General Motors is getting ready to build an electric delivery van, and curfews are making it a bit harder for Americans to buy groceries.
Jane King is in New York with those stories and more.
People across America are having a harder time getting the essentials they need when stores are abruptly boarded up and closing early. USA Today says some groceries are shutting down and condensing their hours as rioters storm through various cities. Some shoppers say it's hard to know what's reopening the next day when there are plywood panels over shop windows. Well, Trader Joe's, Costco, and Whole Foods have been ranked as the top 3 grocery retailers with coronavirus health and safety protocols. That's according to the Ipsos group. Its survey found that they excelled at proper face covering usage, social distancing, and other critical procedures that help customers minimize their chance of contracting COVID-19. Well, move over veggie burgers. There's a new plant-based food craze that's poised to take off. Make way for vegan seafood. While meat alternatives continue to grow in popularity, many vegan consumers are looking for a wider choice, and experts are predicting plant-based fish could be the next vegan trend, with vegan seafood leading the way. And Reuters says General Motors working on an electric delivery van. The vehicle is rumored to be called the BVI internally, and it would be produced alongside planned electric trucks starting sometime next year. The van would be just for delivery. From New York, I'm Jane King with your Ag and Energy Report.
Coming up this half hour, we'll have the latest on coronavirus cases in Montana, plus congregations and COVID. We look ahead to Sunday and churches reopening. And later, conservative comeback, why the Treasure State's GOP is claiming victory heading into November. Montana This Morning starts now.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning to you. Happy Friday. We made it almost the
thank
weekend.
Goodness. Yeah.
June, what is it? 5th today. June 5th.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
Yeah. Crazy to think. I still think we're in May. Every time I think about it, I'm like, I go to write May down. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I go to write the month, number of month, and I start and I'm like.
I'm still writing
5,
2019
6,
though.
4, I do 19 a
do
lot.
Do you? Still trying to relive 2019. Clearly 2020 has
yeah, I think a lot of people are there. Either go back
so much for the
skip.
roaring 20s, right? Yeah, roared in like a lion. Stupid 20s. Okay, on the U.S. Bank iCam here, 47 degrees this morning. We're going to see wind at times, mostly later this afternoon as our next weather system starts approaching. Great Falls hour-by-hour forecast, 78 your daytime high. A little bit cloudy this afternoon as well. Opportunity Bank iCam 50 right now. Again, some wind at times, especially later in the day as some storms start to kick off. 82 for the magic number for your daytime high. Lewis, golly, I just love that sunrise.
Every morning it's
in
gorgeous.
Lewistown. Looks good. 41 degrees right now. It's a little bit chillier there. Some wind out of the south at about a couple miles per hour there. 77 degrees, partly cloudy for Lewistown's hour-by-hour forecast today, and a sneak peek at what we're looking at this weekend. Unfortunately, it's not trending too well. Widespread showers and thunderstorms Saturday and carrying over into Sunday. So with that said, warm temperatures today, but those aren't going to last as our next weather maker knocks at our doorstep. Details headed your way. Shannon.
Jason, thank you. Time now is 5:31. A man involved in a crash between Great Falls and Helena on Saturday has died from his injuries. Malmstrom Air Force Base said Wednesday evening that Airman First Class Stephen R. Gordon, a defender with the 341st Security Missile Squadrons, died on Tuesday night. That crash happened on I-15 between Cascade and Craig. According to the Montana Highway Patrol, Gordon crashed into the Jersey barrier that separates the northbound and southbound lanes and spun out of control, and he was then hit by a car. He was taken to Benefice Health System in Great Falls, where he passed away on Tuesday night. There are 2 new cases of coronavirus in Lewis and Clark County, the county's first new cases in 8 weeks, pushing the county total to 18. The new cases are a 50-year-old man and a 54-year-old man who's a contact to a known case from Idaho. The Lewis and Clark cases are in addition to 14 new cases added in the state. There's just 1 current hospitalization reported. 467 people have recovered so far. While restaurants and bars reopened weeks ago due to space for social distancing, many houses of worship chose to keep their doors closed. Now that phase 2 has started, so have some services. MTN's Lindsay Hyatt takes us to church for a look at what sanitary changes you may expect to see come Sunday.
You've waited over a month to put on your Sunday best, but the Sundays of the future might not look like the rest.
There are really 5 key areas that we're focusing on.
Separating healthy churchgoers from those of poor health.
We are encouraging people who are compromised, who may have immune issues, to go ahead and stay at home and watch on the online platform.
Foregoing children's ministry.
We're not doing children's ministry at this time. Simply because it's almost impossible to social distance children. They are welcome to come and be a part of the service with their families.
Improving sanitation efforts.
We are doing a higher level of disinfecting in the building, cleaning before, between services, and after each service.
Social distancing.
We've got our chairs set up in 6-foot increments according to the number in people's party or family.
And taking extra precautions during traditional church activities, like communion.
We've ordered individualized communion cups and bread. Our ushers will hand them out to the people as they come in to the service. They'll be masked and have on plastic gloves.
And tithing.
We have offering envelopes that are available. They can use those. And then we have ushers at the doors as they're leaving, and they can just deposit them in the bucket as they're heading out the door.
The leadership team even sought guidance from a disinfectant expert who helps sanitize various facilities.
Every business is different. Going to a restaurant and a church and a school and a grocery store, they're all different, and you have to treat them differently.
Fowler said churchgoers can help by being cognizant of sanitation products around them.
Just have a little common sense and look around. So when you come in there, find out where their sanitized stations are at.
Grab your sanitizer. Take a socially distanced seat and enjoy your service.
And that was Lindsay Hyatt reporting. Victory Church will hold their second week of in-person services this Sunday at 9 and 11 a.m. Well, it's Friday morning, the time now 5:35. Coming up, campaign claims. We look at who is claiming victory heading into the general election and why.
And later in your weather forecast, before the nasty weather sets in, we are still looking at pretty hot temperatures today and plenty of sunshine. So the UV index today rather high, right around 20 minutes or just under for the burn time. Make sure you got the hat, the sunglasses. Just don't wear them at night, right? Morning forecast coming up.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back. You're looking live over Great Falls this morning. A beautiful start to the day. We're sitting at 47 degrees right now on your June 5th. Welcome back. In Tuesday's primary election, 6 incumbent Republican state lawmakers were defeated, but leaders of the party's conservative wing are claiming credit for some of these wins, saying they took out members who worked with Democrats on key issues in previous legislatures. But as MTN's Mike Dennison reports, the overall numbers of each block didn't change that much.
In a Facebook post Wednesday, Republican House Majority Leader Brad Cheetah of Missoula said the results in this week's GOP legislative primaries are the beginning of the great conservative comeback. He pointed to the defeat of several GOP incumbents who were part of the so-called Solutions Caucus, a group of Republican lawmakers who've worked with Democrats and Governor Steve Bullock to pass things like Medicaid expansion, campaign finance reform, and increases in the state fuel and bed taxes to finance road repair and other public projects. Among the losers Tuesday were Representative Nancy Ballance of Hamilton, who co-chaired the House Appropriations Committee, Representative Eric Moore of Miles City, and State Senator Tom Richmond of Billings. A number of conservative Republican lawmakers also held off primary challenges Tuesday by candidates allied with the Solutions Caucus. But a closer examination of the numbers shows that not much has changed. In the House, conservatives gained at most 3 additional seats. meaning that Democrats and Solution Caucus Republicans still control at least 59 of the 100 House seats. Two members of the conservative bloc in the House, David Dunn of Kalispell and Greg DeVries of Clancy, lost their primaries on Tuesday. And in the Senate, the battle within the GOP ended in a wash, with no gains by either side. That means Democrats and Solution Caucus Republicans control as many as 30 of the Senate's 50 seats. Republican Representative Lou Jones, a Conrad businessman and a leader of the Solutions Caucus, told MTN News Thursday he regrets losing experienced allies like Balance and more. He said both have expertise on the state budget, which will be needed at the 2021 legislature when the state is likely to face a deficit. Cheetah said Tuesday's results mean conservatives at the legislature can defeat attempts to raise taxes and grow government. But Jones notes that the Solutions Caucus pretty much maintained its numbers and said it hopes to continue work on solutions that advance the state. But there's one other key factor at play in this power dynamic. Who will be the next governor? If it's a Republican, the role and power of Democrats and the Solutions Caucus may change. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Republicans currently hold overall majorities in both the state House and Senate, and that's not expected to change in the November general election.
Up next in your weather forecast, we've been talking about it all week. Some big changes as we head toward the weekend. Sunny skies for most areas, still kind of hazy though off in the distance. 40s and 50s in central Montana, high 40s in northeastern Montana. Tea time forecast, you might be able to hit the links early today, but building clouds as the day progresses. Some periods of wind this afternoon as some stronger storms develop in southwestern Montana. More clouds in the capital. Break down that next weather maker after the break.
5:44 here on,
my gosh.
Yeah, 5:44 on your Friday morning. Take a look at this lightning storm, all caught on camera in Washington, D.C. real early this morning.
Yeah, Skycam footage at our CBS affiliate captured video footage of the Washington Monument being struck by lightning.
Yeah, that's pretty, I mean, unfortunate it was struck, but wow,
I mean,
this
it's
video.
not going to do any damage.
No, this
to that in
happens
theory,
fairly
but
often, right?
Wow, that's
strikes
insane.
Yeah,
Look at that. That's like right there.
It is.
Oh my gosh, I think I've only
That's
well,
pretty cool.
twice
Oh,
in my
one
life.
was real close to the camera,
Yeah,
too.
twice
Not
in my
just the
life
monument.
I've been that close to lightning. Not
That
ever
explains.
wanting to relive that experience. Once on the top of Pikes Peak, and the other one was by Big Timber when we were storm chasing.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was, well, I think John was telling you about that one. That was quite the adventure.
His storm
needless to
chasing
say.
buddy, yeah.
Yeah, it was, well, it was one of those, you know, we were right up against mountains. Doppler doesn't work when you got a mountain in your way, you know, and we kind of played out how this storm was going to act coming over the mountains, and it didn't go as planned.
There.
Yeah, so needless to say, we were caught in that guy like immediately, and there's no room for error. I mean, mountain storm comes over, you're right there.
You're right
so,
there. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it was a little crazy, but yeah, that's a pretty
scary.
impressive lightning.
Yeah.
Right? Starting off your day with pretty mild temperatures, a little bit cool in some areas though. 47 degrees on this TGI Friday morning for Great Falls. 50 degrees in the capital, looking at the high 40s in northeastern Montana. We're going to warm up a little bit more today compared to where we were yesterday. High pressure kind of tries to rebuild a little bit, but it's not going to have enough strength to hold off that next weather maker that moves in this weekend. So overall, high 70s, early 80s all across the board for daytime highs. Also, looking at a little bit broad and severe weather forecast for today. Yesterday, National Weather Service just kind of anticipating into southwestern Montana. They bumped that a little bit further north, and this little highlighted region is going to be the best area to see some isolated stronger cells. Not overly crazy, but here's how your afternoon is going to play out. We'll see some building clouds over the mountains in northwestern Montana as this afternoon plays out. Pretty decent little storms kicking up in and around the capital, probably later this evening, though I would say late afternoon and evening is when those storms are going to start rolling in. They'll likely gain in strength as they head through central Montana. Some of those storms may pack a bit of a punch. Again, we'll have more energy to work with Saturday and Sunday, but some of these storms may kind of kick off and become severe on us. Overnight lows a little bit more mild, 55 in Great Falls, 58 in the capital, a few lingering 60s throughout northeastern Montana. Tomorrow, temperatures are going to start to back off for central Montana, but that ridge that's trying to build today is going to amplify throughout eastern Montana and the Dakotas tomorrow. That's going to allow for very, very nice weather. But once you factor in that heat and our next incoming weather system, that particular area is going to be really primed to see some pretty severe weather come tomorrow afternoon. So do keep that in mind. Here's how Saturday is going to play out. We're going to start out relatively cloudy, maybe a few early day showers, but then around the noon hour, much heavier rain and or thunderstorms is expected to start moving moving in, acting very similar to what we're going to see this afternoon. However, a lot more along the Rocky Mountain front and the mountains. That is going to raise the concerns slightly for some area flooding. We still do have quite a bit of snowpack to deal with, and again, heavy periods of rain not out of the question. And that rain's pretty much going to stick with us all day Saturday. You'll notice some of those stronger storms expected there into northeastern Montana. So future track for precipitation, this is just Saturday. Likely going to see at least a ½ inch for a good chunk of central Montana. The capital could see a little bit more. And again, Sunday, we're still tracking more rain, and temperatures much cooler as well on Sunday. Looking at the 50s west of the divide, mid 60s for central Montana. Eastern plains a little bit more mild there, still into the high 70s across the board. And here's how Sunday will play out. So we've kind of got two weather systems. The big core, right? This is the big driving force behind everything. That first little batch of energy is going to continue to jog up north, but the core of that system is going to still be moving through the area Monday, kicking off a few showers and allowing for that cold Canadian air to settle in across the state, keeping us pretty chilly into the first part of this next week. Here's how all of that comes together over the next 7 days. 78 degrees today, scattered showers throughout the area, some of which may be severe, and then much more widespread showers and thunderstorms through the weekend. In Helena, again, showers and thunderstorms continuing as we head into the first part of this next week. And check out Monday into Tuesday. Temperatures fall off the chart. They're looking at Fort Benton right now. Could see a little bit of wind there as well on Monday, with highs at 57 on Monday. And Cut Bank, we're looking at 72 today. Temperatures gradually cooling off and finally starting to rebound by about Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Shannon.
Jason, thanks. It's 5:48 on your Friday. Still to come on Montana this morning. If the shoe fits, a cobbler comes up with a social distancing shoe. That story is next. As we head to break, here's another edition of Congrats to Grads.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning. Thanks for spending your Friday morning with us. Just about, 8 minutes away from 6 o'clock, 5:52 on your clock. And a Romanian shoemaker came up with the idea of long-nosed leather shoes to help keep people apart and respect the rules of social distancing. They come in European size 75.
75.
So
the shoemaker said that if two people wearing these size 75 shoes faced each other, there'd be almost 1.5 meter distance there. So, good social distancing between them.
I would trip up the stairs.
Oh my gosh,
I almost fell this morning.
He did. When we were in a story earlier, he fell off.
I did not. I caught myself.
You tripped. Yeah, thankfully.
Stumbled.
So this shoemaker's business, of course, with everything being canceled, closed due to coronavirus.
Oh my gosh.
So he was trying to be optimistic, come up with some good ideas here to help maybe sales recover. The maker said he adapted this long footwear from a model he made for actors, and said so far he's received 5 orders for these shoes. Takes him about 2 days to make a pair. They cost $115.
Huh. Maybe I should buy some.
Yeah.
That is a conversation starter right there.
No kidding. They're like classy clown shoes.
I wonder if there's no way you could drive with those. There's no way. I mean,
No,
could you imagine trying to get your foot like in the thing? Like, it wouldn't be doable.
Even if you backed up enough, there's no, you don't have toes there to.
No, it would just bend.
Yeah.
But it would be a good conversation starter.
Yes. Or you could, change in your car, and then when you get out, open the door and just show up somewhere. Yeah.
I would absolutely die.
What a creative way though to help, get some marketing, get some innovation, and that's good for him.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, more power to you. If you can sell them, why not, right?
You need lessons for how to walk in them to go with that price.
No kidding. Cane required just to put on your shoes. Yeah. 47 right now in Great Falls, 50 degrees in the capital, looking at the high 40s in northeastern Montana. It's going to be a little bit cloudy out there today and building clouds this afternoon. Shannon, you've been slacking on watering the garden.
I have, but Mother Nature might help me a little bit here.
Today's kind of hit and miss. Better chance in southwestern Montana up through Lewistown for rain today. And then as we head through Saturday, Sunday, Monday, yeah, widespread rain is very, very likely. So temperature-wise, we're kind of falling off the charts. We'll be pretty mild up through Saturday, but then again, widespread showers and thunderstorms move in the afternoon. And following that system, we're going to go to 65 on Sunday in the capital and even colder to start out this next week.
All right, your Farm and Ranch report with the Montana Ag Network is next. Coming up this half hour, new testing procedures. The state announces some more options for checking people for coronavirus. Plus, all about location. The Salvation Army is trying to figure out the best spot to give out free food boxes. We'll explain the situation. And later, keeping pace, a high schooler won't let coronavirus stop track season. Montana This Morning starts now.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning to you. Happy Friday. It is June 5th.
Finally made it to the weekend. Unfortunately, the weekend's not shaping up to be the nicest weekend, but that's okay.
This is a good excuse to just relax inside.
Right, especially when you've been slacking on watering the garden. At least we're going to have rain coming in to kind of take care of that problem. So, okay, whatever. I've been busy.
Okay, well, me too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The good news is if anyone else has also been slacking, Mother Nature's helping out this week.
Yeah, we got rain headed our way. We'll start the day out pretty mild, kind of hazy skies out there, a little bit more sun mid-morning, late morning or so, and then getting cloudy again this afternoon. Great Falls sitting at 45 degrees right now, 39 in Cutbank. Havre at about 45 degrees. As for your hour-by-hour forecast, partly sunny up through the noon hour, then some building clouds again this afternoon and evening. That's going to be the leading edge of our next weather maker. In the capital right now on the Opportunity Bank iCam, looking at 49, a little bit cooler though in Lincoln. Clancy at 42 degrees. Hour-by-hour forecast as well, going to be pretty mild temperature-wise, but again, building clouds this afternoon and evening, and some pretty widespread showers heading our way this weekend. So unfortunately, your outdoor outlook not that great for Saturday and Sunday. Pretty cool temperatures given the season, and definitely going to be seeing some widespread rain throughout the area. Warm temperatures, showers and thunderstorms moving in, and more of them continuing this weekend. We'll break down that incoming weather maker very shortly. Shannon.
Jason, thanks. Time now is 6:02. Families, friends, and civic leaders gathered in Minneapolis to pay tribute to George Floyd at the first of several memorials planned for the coming days. A judge set bail at $750,000 for each of the 3 fired Minneapolis police officers charged with aiding and abetting in Floyd's death. Former officer Derek Chauvin, who had his knee on Floyd's neck for over 8 minutes, faces an upgraded charge of second-degree murder. Here at home, Governor Steve Bullock directly addressed members of the media on Thursday about President Trump's assertion that the federal government will deploy active-duty military personnel to address protests. Bullock called the idea, quote, gravely concerning, and noted that current United States Secretary of Defense Mark Esper doesn't think it's a good idea either, saying as much at a Wednesday press conference. In order to deploy troops domestically that way, President Trump would invoke the Insurrection Act. Several states and Washington, D.C. have deployed members of the National Guard to assist local law enforcement with quelling unrest. Montana has not seen the level of protesting or rioting other areas of the country have. Bullock said at this time he has had no conversations about using National Guard for Montana protests or sending deployments to other states.
When it comes to managing the crises or the unique circumstance of what's happening in our states, it really should be up to governors to determine what best fits their state's unique circumstances. And governors have been leaders throughout this global pandemic, and they'll be leaders through this crisis as well.
Bullock also said he has confidence in Montana law enforcement to work with protesters and community leaders for the safety of all. The governor also announced increased testing across the state, including asymptomatic testing and more in tourism communities. The testing is completely free to the individual and paid for by the state of Montana. In Helena, drive-through testing will be conducted at Pureview Health Center for the next 2 Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon. The hope is that this screening will give public health a better idea of the prevalence of COVID-19 in local communities and the state. The Salvation Army of Great Falls was selected to distribute produce as part of Congress's recently passed Coronavirus Farm Assistance Program. Thursday, organizers and volunteers passed out the second round of USDA food boxes. After driver lines led to traffic jams last week at the Holiday Village Mall, leaders changed up the location and decreased the number of boxes given away from 1,500 to roughly 100. There was no guarantee everyone would drive away with fresh produce, but many drivers said that they were just thankful for the opportunity.
Are you worried about getting a box this week?
I'd like to have one, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world.
And leaders say they're looking at other venues for another mass distribution like Montana Expo Park, but this week's giveaway came too quickly to get plans solidified with county officials. The Salvation Army has partnered with a number of agencies to distribute the remaining boxes. We do have a list of those on our website. It's 6:05 on this Friday morning. Still to come, college collaboration. 2 schools are joining forces. That story is next.
And later in your weather forecast, if you've been procrastinating mowing the lawn, well, we're going to start to see some possible showers here this afternoon. But tomorrow, check it out. Yeah, that's going to be a no-go as widespread showers and thunderstorms move in. Some afternoon rain likely in the capital today. Tomorrow, again, not going to be a good one. So get her done while you can. More on your forecast coming up shortly.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back. You're looking live over Great Falls this morning. A beautiful start to this Friday, June 5th. Time now is 6:08. Welcome back. Thanks for starting your day with us. Students at Helena College are open to a wealth of possibilities when choosing if they want to complete their bachelor's degree in the Montana University system. And one more door opened right in their own backyard. MTN's Sam Hoyle has more.
Right down the street from Helena College, a public community college in the Montana University system, sits Carroll College, a private 4-year college, and now students at Helena College have the opportunity to move from one to the other with the Coe Admission agreement both schools announced Wednesday, a program that's been a positive outcome from a long-standing relationship between the two schools, said Acting Dean of Helena College, Sandy Bauman.
We've been talking about this specific relationship, this partnership for the last year. We just think it's such a great opportunity for the people of Helena to be able to start their education and have the opportunity for a 4-year without leaving town.
Before completing their first 30 credit hours, students at Helena College can apply for the co-admission agreement to go on to Carroll, which automatically guarantees them admission to the college, access to advisors, and a financial aid package, something Carroll Dean Dr. John Seck hopes a good number of students will take advantage of in the future.
I would hope over the next several years, I would love to see 100 students. I mean, I would love to see a good number of people here locally say, this is a fantastic opportunity for students in Helena to complete their bachelor's degree. And
Bauman also said one of the added benefits to this program is aimed at those who aren't able to simply pick up and move in search of higher education.
We know a lot of people are very interested in just staying in Helena. There are some students who don't have the option to leave Helena. And we wouldn't want their opportunities for an education to be limited.
Reporting in Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN News.
The co-admission program is scheduled to begin this fall. Graduation ceremonies for Helena High School and Capitol High School have been moved up to earlier in the day tomorrow at Carroll College due to possible weather disruptions. Graduation for Helena High will begin at 8 a.m. Guests can start arriving at 7 for seating. And graduation for Capitol High School will start at 11 a.m. and guests can get there at 10:15. An alternative indoor option is not available this year due to precautionary health protocols. A Three Forks High School sophomore decided to make her own virtual track meet across the state. As MTN's Nick Petriccioni reports, Jasmine Murphy says the experience could not have been better.
What started out as an idea with her dad turned into so much more. Jasmine Murphy created Montana Virtual Track, an online track meet for high schoolers across the state to compete with one another. It became a big success with about 50 athletes competing, stretching from Eureka to Colstrip all the way down to Dillon.
A lot of people said thank you for doing this, thank you for putting in your time and working with this, and I just kind of thanked them back for doing it because without them I couldn't.
But putting on a track meet was a lot more work than Murphy had anticipated.
I would go get home from all my daily things and I'd get on my computer and work through all the spreadsheets and send out the links and read the emails and respond. So it did take a lot of time, but it was good.
And Murphy, a sophomore at Three Forks High School, competed herself, taking first place in long jump and triple jump, while also finishing second in the 200 meters.
It was good to see that I'm still somewhat doing good and still keeping up in kind of good shape, at least in the off season.
If a high school season ever gets canceled again, Murphy says not to worry.
I definitely would do it again. If this all happened again, I would definitely still do it because it was fun and it's a good learning lesson.
In Three Forks, Nick Petroccioni, MTN Sports.
And time now is 6:12 here on your Friday. Jason, looking a little rough heading into the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. As we break down your weather forecast next, we're tracking widespread showers and thunderstorms as we head through the weekend here. Currently, we're looking at semi-sunny skies out there, looking at the mid to high 40s in central Montana and high 40s right now in northeastern Montana. Still a little bit of sun out there, so the UV index count rather high, rated at 8. Sunburn time just under 20 minutes or so today. Car wash forecast not great. Tracking some afternoon showers and thunderstorms and more this weekend. That forecast is next.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with Jason Laird.
Good morning, everybody. Thank goodness it's finally Friday. 45 in Great Falls right now, 49 in the capital, looking at the high 40s in northeastern Montana. Starting to see some building clouds, especially in northwestern Montana. We'll stay semi-clear through the first half of the day, but then this afternoon, some big changes headed our way. So with that said, daytime highs actually a little bit warmer today compared to where we were yesterday. 82 in the capital, 78 in Great Falls, looking at the high 70s for the most part in northeastern Montana. Now, the National Weather Service did kind of broaden out today's severe weather outlook. Pretty minimal, though, in the terms of severe storms, a couple of which may kind of kick off this afternoon. So with that said, building clouds this afternoon, likely around 2 or 3 is when I suspect we'll start to see some pop-up storms in and around the capital, just through southwestern Montana. Then those are going to likely track up through Lewistown. But you notice there is going to be a possibility of some isolated stronger cells here this afternoon and evening. That's going to make for a slightly cooler night as that rain-cooled air moves in. 55 in Great Falls, 58 in the capital, looking at the 60s in northeastern Montana. Tomorrow we're kind of splitting the state in two. Western Montana a little bit chillier, not bad into central Montana for Saturday. Eastern Montana actually downright toasty. What's going to happen is the high pressure ridge that's trying to amplify today is going to amplify even more tomorrow, only for eastern Montana and the Dakotas. So we're going to miss out on it. And the reason behind that, our next weather maker moving in. And with that said, the severe weather outlook with that warmer air out east is going to be much higher throughout the eastern plains and especially over into the Dakotas. So tomorrow on Saturday, pretty cloudy to start things out, maybe a few little isolated early day showers, and then in the afternoon, widespread rain is expected to move in. There's an area of low pressure that's going to just wrap that moisture over top of the state, and some stronger isolated thunderstorms are not out of the question, especially there into eastern Montana as those systems kind of roll through. Now, precipitation forecast just through Saturday. Over a half an inch of rain is not out of the question, maybe up to an inch in Helena, so some localized flooding not out of the question along the Rocky Mountain front with the passage of this system. And on Sunday, we're really going to start to feel that cooler air move in, looking at the mid-50s throughout western Montana, central Montana, mid-60s, and then the 70s throughout the northeastern plains, so still a little bit more mild in that region. So the main weather maker being a huge upper level low, fired that first little shot of moisture our way on Saturday. By Sunday, that's going to be to our north. However, that core of the system is still going to wrap some moisture across the state. It's also going to keep us rather chilly as we head into the first part of this next week. We'll start to see some high pressure try to rebuild on maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. That should hold off a lot of the moisture, but still, with that said, going to be rather cold up through about Tuesday of this next week. Here's how all of that comes together over the next 7 days. 78 degrees today. Chilly through the weekend, only 65 for your daytime high on Sunday. We'll likely going to continue seeing some isolated showers and thunderstorms into the first part of this next week. 56 is all for a daytime high as we head into Monday in the capital. In Lewistown today, 77 degrees, pretty mild tomorrow, but more showers and thunderstorms. Lingering rain likely into the first part of this next week. And as for Havre, 80 degrees today, and we'll stay pretty mild through Saturday temperature-wise before they really start to fall off the charts by Monday and Tuesday. Shannon.
Time now, 6:19 on your Friday. Coming up, the community is coming together to make sure families stay fed. Coming up next, I'll take you to Whittier Elementary for a look at how they're helping.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back, and thanks for hanging out with us here on a Friday morning. Current time is 6:24, and in the last 2 months, the Great Falls Community Food Bank has nearly doubled the amount of food that they've given out to roughly the 70 agencies that they serve.
The food pantries at Great Falls Public Schools, including Whittier Elementary, are stocked in large part thanks to the food bank.
Today's the day.
Whittier Elementary is getting a special delivery.
It's a big bag of potato chips.
Food for the school's pantry.
Doritos.
Oh, can you love those?
Since schools were closed due to coronavirus, Whittier's seen an increase of families needing food.
Snacks for the kids.
We have parents that have woken up and they're out of a job, and all of a sudden. And so the need is greater.
And then we normally fill this up entirely with pantry food.
Right now, they need more space, so the gym is serving as the pantry and food box assembly station.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Normally, Whittier gives out around 1,000 pounds of food per month from the food bank.
Now we're pushing out about 1,800 pounds a week, up to 81 boxes.
It's a well-oiled machine of teamwork to get the food organized and boxed up for students and families in the Whittier community.
Oh, and we got a big bag of chips right here.
Our families are so grateful. If they don't need it, they don't take it. And sometimes some of our families, if there's things that they have purchased and their kiddos won't eat, they'll bring it in and donate it, and maybe another family will take it.
And here at MTN, we want to make sure the community is fed in the wake of coronavirus and also show support of the efforts for those who are working to do that. And that's why our parent company Scripps is donating $12,000 to the Great Falls Community Food Bank. And then we're challenging you, the community, to match that donation.
And so far, $3,300 has been donated. If you would like to help out, just give the food bank a call.
Yeah, no special tricks, codes, anything like that. Just call the food bank and tell them you want to help out. They'll give you directions on how to do that. So the food pantries at Great Falls Public Schools are one of the, like we said, 70 plus agencies that they serve. But thanks to staff donations, community donations, Fishers of Men also helps to stock the Whittier Elementary food pantry as well. But just a lot of great support, and they've really stepped up. They've just seen a lot of people step up, helping out, come together during the last couple months.
That's kind of nice to see. And we were talking earlier, I mean, that's a finely tuned machine they got running there.
It is. Those volunteers are fantastic. They're all talking. They get so excited too when they see oh, the kids are going to love this. You can tell they're very passionate about making sure these families are fed.
So yeah, if you're in the position to help out, got all the details. Is there more details on our website?
There's more details on the website, phone number, things like that. Yep.
Rock on. Well, not a bad day here throughout the Capitol. Looking at the U.S. Bank iCam right now. Oh, not too bad. Sitting at about 45 degrees. And again, sneak peek at your weekend here, about 76 degrees and 65 as for the Capitol, or tomorrow. Geez, I'm all over the place here. Opportunity Bank iCam sitting at 49 degrees right now. Some wind out of the west at about 3 miles per hour. Kind of a sneak peek at what we're tracking this weekend for the Capitol. Looking at 76 degrees and then cooler on Sunday as that next weather maker starts knocking at our doorstep. And for Lewistown right now, you're waking up to 43 degrees. The sun's kind of blinding the camera there, but still looking good. 77 tomorrow and then 65, much cooler as we head into this next week.
All right, Montana This Morning continues in a moment. We're back, but first, here's another edition of Congrats to Grads. Coming up this half hour, new testing procedures. The state announces more options for checking people for coronavirus. Plus, congregations and COVID. We look ahead to Sunday and churches reopening. And later, all about location. The Salvation Army is trying to figure out the best spot to give out free food boxes. We'll explain the situation.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Happy Friday to you. Thanks so much for kicking off your weekend early with us here on Shannon News.
Finally Friday. Man, I've never been so happy for Friday in a while. It's been a tiring week, you know.
Well, really the last few weeks for us on different levels have been very tiring.
Yeah, well, we've done a lot
busy.
the last couple of weeks, you know, stayed pretty busy. But,
yes. So.
This weekend, you'll have an excuse to kind of take it easy unless you really want to go hang outside in the rain.
Well, some people like that.
To each their own, right? Currently, though, on the U.S. Bank ICAM and throughout the area, a little bit chillier in Cut Bank at 39 degrees, 43 in Lewistown, Havre right now, 45, Glasgow at 49. As for the capital, Opportunity Bank ICAM sitting at 49 at the airport, and up in the passes there, McDonald Pass at 45. Same story for Boulder Hill. UV index still a little bit high today. Most of this is going to be in the first half of the day as we are tracking building clouds later today. And well, if you were hoping to do a little fishing today or this weekend, today's about the last day you could maybe get some in. We're still tracking the high 70s, but rain moves in this afternoon. Sticks with us pretty much through Monday, and still even going to be kind of chilly by Tuesday of this next week. So with that said, your forecast headlines: warm temperatures today, but taking a turn for the worse as our next weather maker moves in. Showers and thunderstorms, and then rain and thunderstorms pretty much all weekend long. We'll have a closer look at that incoming weather system very shortly. Shannon.
All right, Jason, thank you. Time now is 6:32, and we begin this half hour at Sluicebox State Park, where 20-year-old Dustin Quintanilla of Great Falls drowned in Belt Creek. It happened on Wednesday. He and some friends decided to swim across the creek to jump from a cliff. Quintanilla was swept away from the group in the current and went underwater. He was found roughly 250 yards downstream on the shoreline. His friends immediately began CPR until deputies, FWP, and Belt EMS all arrived, but it was too late. Officials do want to remind everyone, while temperatures may be warm, the water is still very cold and moving fast. Use extreme caution when going in or near the water. A man involved in a crash between Great Falls and Helena on Saturday has died from his injuries. Malmstrom Air Force Base said on Wednesday evening that Airman First Class Stephen R. Gordon, a defender with the 341st Security Forces Squadron, died Tuesday night. That crash happened on I-15 between Cascade and Craig. According to the Montana Highway Patrol, Gordon crashed into the Jersey barrier that separates the northbound and southbound lanes and spun out of control. He was then hit by a car. He was taken to Benefice Health System, where he later passed away. Well, this morning, Montana will be expanding COVID-19 grant opportunities to help small businesses, local governments, and help get more Montana meat to people's tables. Governor Bullock announced on Thursday an additional $25 million to the Small Business Stabilization Program. That program had already sent out more than $10 million to Montana businesses. Additional funding will go to local governments to cover COVID-related expenses. And the governor introduced the Montana Meat Processing Infrastructure Grant. The grant is aimed at helping small and medium-sized meat processors adapt to meet the supply and demands of their community. The governor also announced increased testing across the state, including asymptomatic and more testing in tourism communities. This testing is completely free to people and paid for by the state of Montana. In Helena, drive-through testing will be conducted at Pureview Health Center for the next 2 Saturdays from 8 a.m. till noon. The hope is that this screening will give public health a better idea of the prevalence of COVID-19 in local communities and across the state.
Point is to really see if there is a lot of COVID in the community among asymptomatic people. So this kind of screening test is for people who do not have symptoms and do not have any known exposure to COVID.
Now, Staley says it will probably be around a 5-day turnaround for results. Everyone tested will be informed about what their results are. Health experts are also reminding people to continue good hygiene, stay home when sick, and wear a mask when distancing isn't possible. There are 2 new cases of coronavirus in Lewis and Clark County, the county's first new cases in 8 weeks, pushing the total to 18 there. The new cases are a 50-year-old man and a 54-year-old man who was in contact with a known case from Idaho. The Lewis and Clark cases are in addition to 14 new cases that the state added. There's just 1 current hospitalization reported. 467 people have recovered so far. And there's good news on the East Coast. New York City reached an encouraging milestone its first day with no reported coronavirus-related deaths since mid-March. New York State had been the hardest hit in the nation with more than 30,000 coronavirus deaths, most of them in New York City's 5 boroughs. Here at home, while restaurants and bars could reopen weeks ago due to adequate space for social distancing, the intimate nature of places of worship kept many church doors closed. Now that phase 2 has started, so have some church services. Victory Church resumed their in-person services last Sunday with the addition of some sanitation and distancing measures. Now when churchgoers come on Sunday, they'll have to sanitize, sit 6 feet apart from other families or groups, and take their children with them into services, as children's ministries there are currently on hold. Church leadership will also have safer alternatives from traditional communion and tithing practices like individual portions, online offering, and individual envelopes for tithes. Pastor Hart shares why Victory Church chose to resume their in-person services.
Recently, when Governor Bullock began to move us towards phase 2, we realized that we could probably go ahead and step into in-person services as long as we were doing some level of social distancing, disinfecting protocols.
And those protocols will remain in place this Sunday should anyone choose to attend either of Victory Church's services at 9 and 11 Sunday morning. The Salvation Army of Great Falls was selected to distribute free boxes of produce as part of Congress's recently passed Coronavirus Farm Assistance Program. Thursday was the second week for the giveaway with some revisions. MTN's Keely Van Mittendorp caught up with organizers as they gave out more boxes.
Salvation Army of Great Falls leaders and volunteers gathered to pass out the second round of USDA food boxes Thursday.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being patient.
After driver lines led to traffic jams last week, leaders changed up the location and decreased the number of boxes given away from 1,500 to roughly 100.
And I know that folks are going to be disappointed. We can't help everybody as much as we wish we could.
Cars lined up for blocks Thursday to get 2 free boxes of produce, meat, and cheeses.
We're all done. They're gone. Thank you very much. We're sorry.
While there was no guarantee everyone would drive away with fresh produce, many were just thankful for the opportunity.
Are you worried about getting a box this week?
I'd like to have one, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world.
We just ran out of boxes. Yeah, sorry about that.
Leaders say they're looking at other venues for another mass distribution like Montana Expo Park, but this week's giveaway came too quickly to get plans solidified with county officials.
It's easy to say we should be here, we should be there, but unless those properties are made available to us and can handle the traffic flow, this is the best alternative.
What it basically has to do with is deferred maintenance at the park and prior commitments for the park's use.
City officials are also stepping in to help. Mayor Bob Kelly says he's helping the Salvation Army facilitate a plan for the weekly distribution so the Salvation Army can continue their mission of doing the most good.
Visit both county facilities to make sure that we could do it right if we can do it there, and also private and public facilities to see if they'd be willing to give us the space to get these food boxes out to the folks who need them.
We really are just doing the best we can.
The Salvation Army has partnered with a number of agencies to distribute the remaining boxes. We have all that information on our websites. Reporting in Great Falls, Keely Van Mittendorp, MTN News.
And King says they were able to provide enough food for over 178 households and 588 people. Again, we have a list of organizations who received boxes from the Salvation Army on our website. Well, it is Friday morning. Time now is 6:39. Coming together to make sure families stay fed. We'll take you to Whittier to show you how they're helping.
And later in your weather forecast, while high pressure moves out, our next weather maker moves in this weekend. Widespread showers, thunderstorms, and a rather chilly start to next week. Maybe a little bit of hope in sight, though, as next week, middle of the week or so, plays out. We'll break down that extended forecast very shortly.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back. You're looking live over Great Falls on this Friday morning. Happy Friday to you. A beautiful start to our day. Time now is 6:42. In the last 2 months, the Great Falls Community Food Bank has nearly doubled the amount of food they've given out to the roughly 70 agencies they serve. The food pantries at Great Falls Public Schools, including Whittier Elementary, are stocked in large part thanks to the food bank.
Today's the day.
Whittier Elementary is getting a special delivery.
It's a big bag of potato chips.
Food for the school's pantry.
Doritos.
Oh, please love those.
Since schools were closed due to coronavirus, Whittier's seen an increase of families needing food.
Snacks for the kids.
We have parents that have woken up and they're out of a job, and all of a sudden. And so the need is greater.
And then we normally fill this up entirely with pantry food.
Right now, they need more space, so the gym is serving as the pantry and food box assembly station.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Normally, Whittier gives out around 1,000 pounds of food per month from the food bank.
Now we're pushing out about 1,800 pounds a week, up to 81 boxes.
It's a well-oiled machine of teamwork to get the food organized and boxed up for students and families in the Whittier community.
Oh, and we got a big bag of chips right here.
Our families are so grateful. If they don't need it, they don't take it. And sometimes some of our families, if there's things that they have purchased and their kiddos won't eat, they'll bring it in and donate it, and maybe another family will take it.
And here at MTN, we want to make sure the community is fed in the wake of coronavirus and support the efforts of those who are working to do that. That's why our parent company, Scripps, is donating $12,000 to the Great Falls Community Food Bank, and we're challenging you, the community, to match that donation. So far, $3,300 have been raised that you've donated, and if you would like to help, you can give the food bank a call. A summertime favorite is back in the capital city.
There's a girl in this hollow town, she works laying whiskey down a brandy.
The first Out to Lunch concert series kicked off at the Great Northern Town Center Amphitheater on Thursday in Helena. Live music from Sweet Memories and the Cheddar's Gourmet Grilled Cheese food truck served up some warm sandwiches. The classic summer event looked a little bit different with social distancing in place, as well as hand sanitizing stations and bright yellow markings encouraging people to spread out. The Great Northern Carousel also opened yesterday. Managers ask for patience if you do plan on riding the carousel, as they have to sanitize after each ride.
Up next in your weather forecast, enjoy the mild temperatures while they last, because as our next weather maker moves in, things are going to take a tumble on us. Looking at 45 in Great Falls, 49 in the capital. Mid to high 40s along the high line. We'll continue to see building clouds this afternoon. 50s this morning, well into the 60s. So actually warmer today than yesterday. The capital looking at the 50s and even touching the 80s here this afternoon as well. But again, according to that mowing forecast, you better get her done today because some changes in store this weekend. We'll tell you about it next.
Time now 6:48 on your Friday. Some startling video to start your day here. Of course, a lightning storm caught on camera. That was early this morning in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, Skycam footage at our CBS affiliate captured the video footage of the Washington Monument actually being struck by lightning.
Yeah, you can see it
there. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's super impressive. Like, I've been really close to lightning, but well, actually, I think I've been pretty close, pretty similar to that.
That's
very impressive. I know. Yeah, it fried all my few brain cells I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is from a safe distance here. It's really neat to watch this footage. And I think, lightning actually strikes buildings, things like that.
Oh, all the time.
Often than we think.
You know what's crazy is the antennas out back. Those things get struck constantly. And if you're out, which it's kind of funny, it's actually a very safe place to be because that's where the lightning hits. So
That's
as long
true.
as you're
so it
not,
might sound really scary,
right.
but
as long as you're not touching one of the guy wires coming down, you're okay. If you are,
it's another story.
Probably, but no, it's super cool. I haven't seen it here, but when I worked down in Colorado, the antenna was also out back, and the lightning would hit it, and especially at night, you would see the the sparks come down the wires. Yeah, it was super
cool, but scary.
And you could hear it. It was neat. Yeah, super cool to watch. But
Interesting.
yeah, so a pretty common thing. People always think, oh, lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. That is completely false. Complete and utter false. Anyways, 45 degrees to start things out here on your TGI Friday in Great Falls, 49 in the capital. Butte kind of chilly, 37 right now, northeastern Montana. Looking at the 40s. As for high temperatures today, actually warmer than yesterday. Some high pressure is going to try to rebuild today, but it's really not going to have enough strength to hold off our next weather maker. Northeastern Montana high 70s and 80s. So the National Weather Service has broadened out the severe weather forecast today. Still rather low, so that doesn't mean we're not going to get severe thunderstorms. That just means they're not going to be quite as widespread and just a few little isolated severe thunderstorms versus widespread severe thunderstorms. So as for this afternoon, building clouds, especially in northwestern Montana, we'll likely see some showers and thunderstorms kick up around Butte into Helena late this afternoon into the evening. Those are expected to track through Lewistown, moving up through Glasgow. Also some very severe storms expected in northwestern Montana, and kind of this first batch of storms that's moving through, as we were just talking about, a few of those little isolated cells may become severe. And with that rain cooled air moving in, we're looking at the mid 50s for a good chunk of central Montana for overnight lows, staying in the 60s though in northeastern Montana. Tomorrow, that ridge that tried to build it, or is going to try to build today, is going to shift a little bit further east, and it's actually going to amplify, of course, just as soon as it gets past Montana, it's going to amplify. That's going to push the eastern plains well into the 80s and 90s. Here at home, though, mid 70s tomorrow. With that warm air throughout the eastern plains, much better chance of severe weather in that area, a lot more isolated severe thunderstorms. So on Saturday, we're going to see that moisture move in. A couple of showers not out of the question early in the day, but really the super soaker is going to move in Saturday afternoon. Tomorrow, you'll notice that area of low pressure moves in. It's going to circle that widespread moisture across the state. Some periods of heavy rain not out of the question, and likely going to see some stronger thunderstorms as well, especially into northeastern Montana. As for the precipitation tracker, yeah, quite a bit. This is just through Saturday, about a ½ inch likely for Great Falls, maybe upwards of an inch for the capital. So really, there's a lot of moisture to work with this incoming system. On Sunday, we're really going to feel the effects of that colder air moving in. Mid 50s west of the divide, central Montana looking at the mid 60s, 70s throughout the plains, so much, much cooler. So the first little batch of energy thrown off of the main system moving in, that's going to be to our north by Sunday. However, on Sunday, kind of the core of that weather system is still going to kind of fire off a couple of showers throughout central Montana. Probably not as crazy as what we're expecting on Saturday. It's also going to allow for that cold air out of Canada to kind of settle in. We'll start to see some high pressure rebuild as Wednesday, Thursday rolls around, but again, it's not going to do much for us until like the later half of next week. Here's how all of that comes together over the next 7 days. 78 degrees today, getting cloudy this afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms move in this weekend, significantly cooling things off as Monday rolls around. In the capital, 82 degrees today, mid 70s, then the mid 60s, then the mid 50s for daytime highs by Monday. As for Lewistown, 77 is the magic number over the next couple of days, getting downright chilly to start off next week. Should start to dry up though by Tuesday and Wednesday of this next week, as we're tracking high pressure rebuilding by about Tuesday, Wednesday. Shannon.
Jason, thanks. It's 6:53 on this Friday morning. Widespread civil unrest didn't stop Wall Street from rallying this week, but investors did take pause Thursday ahead of today's monthly labor market report. The Dow edged up 11 points yesterday. The Nasdaq fell 67. S&P 500 lost 10. And investors are bracing for this morning's release of the monthly labor report for May. Economists predict the nation's unemployment rate will rise to about 20%. That would mark a level not seen since the Great Depression.
Coming up, our nation at a crossroads. Join us for a CBS This Morning special examining racial inequality in America with diverse voices and real ways to have impact. Race for Justice, coming up on CBS This Morning.
It's 6:56. Let's get you out the door with some of the day's top stories on this Friday, June 5th, 2020. The governor announced increased testing across the state, including asymptomatic and more testing in tourism communities. It's completely free to people and paid for by the state of Montana. In Helena, drive-through testing will be conducted at Pureview Health Center for the next 2 Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon. The hope is that the screenings will give public health a better idea of the prevalence of COVID-19 in local communities and across the state. And there are 2 new cases of coronavirus in Lewis and Clark County. It's the first in the county there in 8 weeks. That pushes the total there to 18. The new cases, a 50-year-old man and a 54-year-old man who was in contact with a known case from Idaho. Lewis and Clark cases are in addition to 14 new cases added across the state. There's just 1 current hospitalization reported. 467 people have recovered so far. Graduation ceremonies for Helena High School and Capitol High School have been moved up to earlier in the day tomorrow at Carroll due to possible weather disruptions. Graduation for Helena High will start at 8 a.m. and graduation for Capitol High School will begin at 11 a.m. An alternate indoor option is not available this year due to precautionary health protocols there. And of course, don't forget to take a picture with your favorite mug this weekend for Mugshot Monday.
Yeah, do you remember that mugshot?
I do.
That was outside of the place we were staying in Scotland.
Yes, we took
That was
a
just
mug
over
to
a year
Scotland.
ago. Yeah, I know. I gave it to my cousin Brian over there. I hope he still has it.
Yeah, we lugged that mug around
I
to
did.
make sure we got a picture.
That mug is rather large, like the KRTV mugs. They're not. They're
hefty.
bigger than your normal coffee mug, and yeah, lugging that around Scotland for the first half of the trip was a bit of a treat.
Yeah,
But
that was about what, a year ago, April.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, just send those pictures in. Just put them right on our Facebook wall. That way I don't miss them because I am rather forgetful. Hashtag Mugshot Monday. The more creative, the better. We already got some good ones in, so share them with us. Waking up to a little bit of sun right now. However, it'll be kind of partly sunny, partly cloudy as the morning plays out, building clouds this afternoon. UV index is still going to be a little bit high today due to the sun. Rated at 8, so right around 20 or just 20 minutes shy for a sunburn to set in. Just kind of keep that in mind. Car wash forecast. I'll be honest, I think I'm going to run mine through. I don't know why. I just have this strong desire, but it is going to rain. So I do. I should take up stock in car washes, to be honest with you.
Profit margin for a lot of these places.
That's very accurate. Okay, a couple of showers moving in here this afternoon. A few of those storms may be severe. You won't have to fire up the sprinklers over the next few days, though, because widespread showers and thunderstorms moving in this weekend into the first part of this next week. Temperature-wise, mild today, still pretty decent tomorrow, but again, widespread showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, and we're going to be chilly. Check out Sunday, 65 degrees, and it's going to be even colder. We're going from like the mid-70s to the mid-60s to the mid-50s by Monday. Have to get the long johns out.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we're at the point in the year where 60s and 50s are like, ooh,
feel chilly.
It's getting chilly.
I know, exactly. It always drives me nuts when I'll like post something like that, and then people are like, "It's Montana." Well, I know, but it's been 80 degrees outside. That feels cold when it's been 80. Anyways.
If you're a baby like this.
That's accurate. I am a woman.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this Friday.
We'll see you back here Monday morning. Have a great weekend.